Hi Shraddha, I'm Pranav, and I just looked you up on the LinkedIn, and I've seen your expertise. You have worked in tech industry, consulting industry, and then you started your own venture and kind of doing some of the things, some of the coaching, individual capacity, and for the organizations as well. And the sole purpose of this communication is right now that what you have realized while working in the consulting and banking industry and starting your own venture, and what are the learnings and some of the things which you can help. And I when I take decision for a lot of finance and kind of those for the clients and the numbers and selecting some of the strategy, then how some of the things becomes very heavily dependent on numbers and everything. So just that's a topic we wanted to discuss sort of today, which will might help a lot of audience here. So I want to start with this question: who is Shraddha?
Okay, so thank you so much, Pranav, me into this conversation because it means a lot to connect with people, over the LinkedIn and having this conversation, as such. So Shraddha for me is a person who is faith builder. That's what my identity is. Building faith in myself and building faith in every individual I meet,
Mhm.
every business I connect with or work with. So that Shraddha is that for me. She's faith builder.
Okay, wow, great. So other day when I was having the coffee with one of my product, a guy in at my company, um, we were deciding some of the things institution and industry is doing about the in fintech industry, and we have taken few contrary decision, and it was not backed by data because data was available all around, which was all based on what is happening around. And then when he forcefully asked me, my product guy forcefully asked me that, hey Pranav, why you are taking this decision, then I have answered that my instinct is telling me to do this decision. So what does instinct mean to you?
Instinct is that internal voice which is always available, which is always there. And I call it as the internal navigation system because there is a lot of external navigation system available in form of data, everything. But your instinct is your internal navigation system, which has all the answers, which helps you to make decisions, choices with that kind of a knowing that this is going to be the right decision.
Wow. Okay. And do you think that it can be developed,
Of
or
course,
it
it can be
naturally?
developed.
Okay.
See, all of us have that. All of us are given that. The instinct is available in each human being. It's there. So, if we divide instinct into various parts, one is the survival instinct. All of us have that. The other, as you progress, you can see that you are guided. You are able to listen to yourself and receive that guidance in taking those decisions, in making those choices slowly, steadily, as you start to recognize that.
Yeah.
And it's not only that everyone has only the survival instinct. Everyone has the highest level of instinct available, the intuitions, the navigation is always available. It is giving you that answers. But what goes off is your ability to receive those answers,
Wow.
your awareness, your being present to those answers, being coming and catching those answers to really receive those answers. Because if you don't receive, you are not going to apply for sure, right?
Yeah.
It's as if like you are, bouncing at the dead end and then you don't know what to be done. But at the same time, if you are open to receive, you know that there is a channel, there is a way, there is a medium where I can actually receive those answers and then I can go about it. So yes, it's trainable. It is really trainable. It is already there. It is like you connecting back to yourself, because as a human being, you have it. Over the years, with all the data, with all the schooling, with all the logic driven path that as a human we have followed, we have forgotten to connect with that
Wow.
innate core, that I always say that innate gold that you have inside of you. You've stopped connecting to it, and that's why it is there. It can be developed, it can be harnessed. So rather than development, I would say harnessing it is something which everyone can do. And it's because it's always there. It's there.
Okay. Would you like to share one of the story around some of the intuitive ability and some of the things which you have taken together with Zeta, which helped you in the past, or any other story which you want to share around your
I
journey?
think
Yeah.
yeah, for my journey, I would say I have been very intuitive from the time I remember myself. So I am able to sense people, I am able to sense situations, I am able to sense you know what's the deep rooted space a human being when they come up to me with superficial challenges, right? Like, for example, I'll give you examples here. Uh, from my life, I'll give you, but here I want to make a very good example where, one of the prospects, he reached out to me and he was telling me that I want to grow my business. And he is one of the art gallery owners from Hyderabad. He wanted to write his own script. He wanted to be a director and all of that as a desire and dream, and plus grow his business. But when I started to dig deep into his scenario, what his experience of life has been, I realized that he had elder brothers and sisters, and for anything and everything, he was directed to his brothers and sisters by his parents, which made him realize that I didn't receive the connection and love I expected from my parents. Nothing right, nothing wrong. It's the journey of life, how parents understood the parenting would be, right?
Yeah.
But then now he was around his kids, his sons, all the time, spending a lot of quantity time, but not quality one. The inner conflict was going higher because the time and effort he wanted to invest in his business was not coming because of his innate desire that he will not be the same parent as he received.
Wow.
So when I brought this to his notice that his business growth was getting stopped, he was feeling stuck and blocked because of this internal conflict that he is going through, because of his experience, which had become a pattern for him. So if we look at it, his parents treating him like this as a sign up, he was doing the opposite thing, but it is exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same pattern. It's the same sine curve that's working, right? And this is my message to all the people who always say, I will not do what my parents did. You are going to land up exactly at the same place as your parents have been. So, stop using that pattern, because that's going to be not working for you. You are either the same or you are opposite. It's exactly the same pattern. So when he realized that that was playing and there was conflict because of the quantity time, he was always upset with his kids, which he didn't wanted to, but it was subconsciously happening because the business growth was not happening. So it was very conflicting for him. So with the intuitive side of me, I get people's journey very fast. And this is one of the examples. And there are hundreds of examples like this when I have spoken with people. It just happens that I really get to see, like with people, I've seen the place that of origin of their block, what statement they said, So that's kind of an intuitive ability all of us have. And, I have traversed that path over the years now, but I think each one of us can actually go that path and identify for ourselves. So this has been one of the prospect side for my perspective. I always look into the energetic side of the person. If there is an energy map, I can scan people's energies while in a Zoom conversation right here. I get like whether people are very genuine or not, or what, sometimes it is just as a business conversation that's happening. And I invest my energies. I get it. Where should I invest my energies, or what's genuine and what's not? At the same time, I'm open because as a coach, over the years, I've learned that not everyone will be same. They are on their journey. So I am non-judgmental as such. But having said that, where to invest my energy is always going to be my choice. And that's where, I go about. So these are the, examples where I keep choosing, making those conscious choices of using my energy and intuition, and whole of my journey, like, 12 years back, I had cancer when I was into the organizational space. And from that space, the journey evolved for me to be a coach, because there was an innate calling that cancer gave me. And I'm so grateful to cancer for that to happen, because if cancer would have not shown up, I would have not been here speaking with you. So every single day, I'm so much grateful that it came into my life to give me that purpose, to see that pathway, and to become that channel or medium for so many, so that they can identify their own calling. So that's the space. It's beautiful. And that's where, the whole intuitive journey started. And that's my life, so far.
Yeah, that became your trigger. I have studied behavior science in Stanford with one of the professor called Dr. BJ Fogg, and they call about Fogg behavior theory. So they call about how behavior changes when three things come together, like motivation and ability, and something becomes the trigger to just initiate that process. And I also like to tell you one story about.
Sure.
I met my CTO almost 5 years ago. Okay. And then when I was building the trust with him that I wanted to have company and some of those things, then that time I looked into his portfolio, because he told me that, hey, can you evaluate and look into my portfolio? And that time I've seen a lot of tech exposure in his portfolio, Infosys, TCS, all those kind of companies. So that when I understood it very at a deeper level, what I found is, okay, because he is into technology industry, because he is a techie, his biases are around tech. He thinks that tech is the driver of economy. He thinks that tech is the only type of companies which can do well. And he was struggling. All the tech companies were outperforming or underperforming because of some of the US crisis, and companies out here was not getting a lot of orders and all those things. So, so then I have deconstructed his biases, and now his portfolio is doing pretty good and all those things. So then, like, I told him that, okay, you don't listen to your whatever your biases are, but you follow the process. So, okay. So one its bias, you follow the process. So process, biases, and then intuition and decision. Okay. So I'm ready to follow the process, but if I'm following the process, how much weightage I should give to the process, which I have experienced over last 20 years dealing with numbers, or how much weightage I should give to, I mean, I know there is no clear answer, to intuition, to make the very, very clear decision. Would you have any reflection on some of these things, Shraddha?
So I would say there is a difference between thinking and intuition. A lot of people think that thoughts are intuitions, but actually those are not. There is a clear demarcation between the two. So intuitions are always very subtle. Those will be like coming in the form of clairvoyance. Either you will hear a word or two, or there will be some visuals, maybe some things that will pop up for you at that point in time. which will tell you that, this is where it is, whatever way. Either you will be sensing something, sensations in your body. And it is proven science, to be very honest, here, that whenever you are making choices or decisions that are in alignment to who you are, what kind of outcome you expect, your body gives you a lot of signals. And I think it's just a matter of observing those signals, that whenever you are looking at things from a perspective, it looks right on the data front. But something inside of you will tell you, your body is such a great intelligent system. It will tell you that, you know what, there seems to be something which is not okay with this. And that's when, your intuitive side is telling you that, look at some other aspects, or, the other side feels better, go with that. Sure. So always check into your body for any decision, even if you're doing it with the data, without the data, for the data, against the data, like whatever way it is. I think that is a very good benchmark in terms of really listening to yourself. And that's the only practice I really ask people to do. That intuitions will be there. It is the receiving of those. That's where the challenge is. It's exactly like you ask, it is given, but then you are not open to receive it. Like, you order a parcel or something from any of the online shopping platforms. It's there right at the door, but you have not opened the door to receive that yet. So intuitions are there. Your thinking will always be either fearful. It will be giving you signs that this may not work, or something which is inculcating a fear, a step back. All of that is thinking. It's not intuitions. People generally tend to conflict between the two and say, my intuition was telling that I shouldn't be doing this. No, that's your fear. That's your thinking, which is telling you should.
That's the mind. Yeah.
That's the mind at play. That's not your gut at play. When your gut is at play, it will tell you what to do, not what not to do. Intuition is always positive. Intuition is always very subtle. It is always going to make you feel lighter, better. Thinking is when you shrink. You don't feel expanded. I'm sure each one of us have some idea that might have just clicked, out of the box, literally something which just came to you, and suddenly you felt, in your body so expanded. Suddenly it felt like maza aa gaya, something literally, it's wow, kind of, wow, I had not thought about that. Something, this could be something which, could be really game-changing, kind of that, right? And if you see, your body language suddenly changes, you feel expanded in your body. All of that is a sign of intuition.
Yeah, you feel.
What says?
Yeah.
You feel. That's the way you feel intuitive when you know that you are are intuitions, when you feel them in the expansion.
Yeah.
When you feel shrinking, like, maybe there's a fear, maybe you shouldn't be doing this, maybe this is what it will cost you if you take a decision, maybe those kind of language, when it is coming into picture, it is more from a thinking aspect. And in thinking, possibly your body language will be like, you'll be shrinking, you'll be like boy thinking, all of those, observe yourself. And those are very subtle signs where you will be able to identify that you are thinking. Those are not intuitions. So intuitions are pure, like magic. That way, I call it magic, like literally. Like I always say, there are two ways to make decisions. One is to your statistics. Statistics includes your past experiences, your market research, data, all of it is statistics. And your intuitions is the second way to make decisions, is who you are, what capacity, ability in terms of your skills, your understanding, your risk-taking ability, who you are. Your body keeps scores very easily. And, you might have failed in the past, but today you are owning it. You can do it, but only if you're looking at the statistics part. I think made a wrong choice that point in time. You were other person. Today you have advanced. You are a different person altogether. We grow, right? All of us grow every single day. So your intuitions always consider you who you are today.
Now, right.
Now, in this moment. And when this now takes that decision, that decision is always going to be the right decision. Always. And from that space, when you work it out, it creates massive results. I've seen in the business coaching that I do. It's massive. And it's magical as well. And I'm here to create that. That's what is the motto and the passion and the mission. So that's how.
This is like so helpful, Shraddha. This is like really helpful. And thank you for doing this with me. And it is definitely has created some answers. And maybe we will, in this series, we will have many more conversations around some of the specific topics as well. And we will talk sometimes in person as well. And thanks for doing this with me. Thank you.
Always welcome. Thank you so much, Pranav, for this.